thank you very much for joining us today at this REC Code Manager webinar, which will help you understand how to make the most of our natural language processing tool, ERIN. Bless you, Medri. Hopefully you'll find this session useful. I think we diarised for an hour, but very much that will the length of today will depend on how many questions you have for us. I'm sure Metri's presentation isn't going to last as long as that, so we may not use the full hour diarised today. Just before we do go ahead, just some introductions. My name's Paul Rock. I work for the REC Code Manager as the head of communications. You're not going to hear much from me today. I'm going to open this session. I'm going to hand over to Matri, who works as part of the Technical Design Authority team within the Code Manager. She's your expert who's going to take you through the session today, and you're only going to hear from me again once we get to the end and we wrap up for questions, where I'll do some moderation and help Matri out there as well. And just in terms of a few bits of housekeeping, we are recording today's event for hopefully a few additional people to get some value out of the event by watching it after it goes out via the portal and through the bulletin. So there'll be a link in this Friday's weekly bulletin to the recording for this session as well. So do keep an eye out for that. We'll be using Slido today to gather your questions. So if you do have any questions that you want to ask, the QR code is there. Please scan that and it will take you directly to our event page on Slido. Or you can go to slido.com and enter that code that's on the screen now, 4191964, and that will take you into our event page as well. You just need to leave your details so we know who's given the feedback, and there will be a feedback survey that follows as well, just so we can get your feedback on what went well about today, what we can do better for future events as well. So please do take the opportunity to leave feedback. But that's all I've got to say for now, because I'm going to hand over to Matri. I'm going to go off camera and Matri's going to take it from there. So if you do have questions throughout the event, do feel free to leave them on Slido. But given the small numbers of us today, please also feel free to put your hands up. I'll be monitoring the Teams people chat for hands. And Matri's told me that she's more than happy for us to interrupt at suitable places throughout her presentation to do that as well. So please feel free. All right, Matri, I'm going to disappear and leave it up to you. So enjoy.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I don't know why I said that with a question mark at the end. It's Tuesday. But this session is a refresh and we'll be discussing ERIN and how we can access it, how we can use it. Quick question, if you can put your hands up if you can. If you can put your hands up. Has anyone tried to use ERIN? It's been around for a while, so you might have tried to test it out. It's okay if not. Yeah, we've tried it. Yeah. Oh, great, cool. So we're just going to go over some features, discuss what type of limitations ERIN might have, how our REC users interacting with it, and then we'll open it up to the forum of some thoughts and questions. But feel free, as we said before, to just ask away, no problem. Next slide, please. So what is ERIN? It was initially designed as an AI-powered tool to help users explore and query elements of the REC using natural language processing, and it stands for the Energy Retail Information Network. It initially started in October 2023, and upgrades were made based on user interactions logged and data used by code managers to improve performance. So those upgrades happened over September 2024 and again in Feb 2025. Next slide, please. And what can ERIN be used for? So ERIN was designed to support REC users and enabling 4 key use cases. So we have a look at this slide. The first thing is supporting parties with their compliance requirements. Secondly, enabling parties to keep up to date with any changes to the REC. And thirdly, providing operational support. And the last thing is optimizing efficiency for REC document navigation. But there's something to remember, which is that ERIN should always be used alongside the retail energy code, not as a replacement. And parties should remember that they must rely on the REC legal text for their obligations. Next slide, please. So how can it be accessed? You might have seen it on your search bar. So if you see on the search bar, there's an Ask Erin to the right of that. And if you go onto the REC portal, you can see that search bar, and Erin can be accessed through all pages of the REC portal. And then if you have a look at the screenshot below, the REC search function does also use ERIN, but this is only available from certain pages of the REC portal. So just be aware of that. Next slide, please. How can ERIN be accessed? So you can write your query and ask Erin a question, but when you do so, just make sure that your query is between 10 to 250 characters. Otherwise, it will come back with a response saying that your query might be too short or they might not understand your query. And it might ask you to give a bit more detail to help you find what you're looking for, to help you navigate to the right searches. And yeah, you can just see that on the screenshot below where it says ask a question. Next slide, please. So when we're looking at Erin's features and the REC documents, it was initially designed and was created to answer questions specifically about the REC. To keep responses accurate and reliable, Erin works within certain limits. One of these limits is restricting the range of source content it can search. And on the left, you can see a list of the documents that are included in ERIN. Yeah, next slide, please.
Just to clarify, that's not all the documents you see on screen aren't all the documents that's just a sample of them. You can see them on ERIN, can't you? You can extract I think when you look at the queries, you can see the document list as well. But basically every document that exists under the REC sort of baseline statement, all the formal governed documents under the REC are taken as source documents, I think.
Yeah, and then we've also got some tips and on here. So Erin's features include some helpful tips and examples to make your experience a bit easier. You'll find guidance on how to phrase your questions, what to avoid, and some sample questions to get you started. I can tell that screenshot's a bit small, but it just says just using full sentences, using the language that is seen on REC terminology, and accessing the source documentation which is provided alongside the answer. And then you could also provide some feedback to allow the continuous improvement. And then some don'ts is asking questions that aren't completely related to the REC and navigating away before copying the answer to the questions you have asked to the model. Yeah, and also just not forgetting to provide feedback. And on that screenshot to the bottom right, you can see what the responses would look like as well. Yeah, thanks. Yep, so this one was asking if I don't like a decision, can I appeal? And Erin came back, yes, you may be able to appeal depending on the context, and then it goes into a bit of a description of that and an example as well. And you can see in the lower screenshot, you can see another question. So if I don't like a decision for a self-governance change, can this be appealed? Yes, according to the Retail Energy Code, if you don't like a decision, and it goes into an explanation of where you can find that any party decision under paragraph 20. So it gives a lot of description there when you ask it that question. Next slide, please. Yep, so on here you can also have a look at chat history and feedback. So the chat history will be logged and available to reselect during the same session, and you can see that on the screenshot on the left. And then you can also see where it says to please give some feedback. Providing feedback in all cases enables the code manager to look at improving ERIN service, and you could also put a thumbs up or thumbs down. I think we'll have a look later, but so far we haven't been getting too much feedback from Erin whenever we get negative feedback. So it would be good to see some more feedback there. So this slide is looking at Erin's features and source documents. Erin's responses are drawn directly from the rec document content it has ingested. All responses provided will have source information provided. You can choose to download the source documentation in an MS in a Word format, or you can review the source snippets. Selecting any of these options will automatically open the document as part of the digital rec, and then you can navigate to the referenced area and highlight the appropriate pieces of the text that you're looking for, like in that screenshot above. Any questions on that bit? Nope. And the next slide is, does Erin have any limitations? Yes, currently Erin does have limitations, and certain restrictions have been applied to ensure that no contact details are provided. However, if the contact details that are being requested are available publicly via the rec portal, Erin will be able to respond, providing a link to the relevant areas. Another thing is that Erin will not answer non-rec based questions. It's very rec based specific. Erin can't provide answers that are not within the remit of its ingested documentations. Also, Erin's rec content will always be based upon the latest live rec document. Queries relating to dates, times often provide null responses. And Erin does not have conversation history functionality. Next slide, please. So this is just an example of Erin responses. So if that's the case, it will just tell you where you can go. You can find the list of rec contact details and the link to the service desk here. So it provides a link for you, or by sending an email to inquiries@rec manager, and someone will be able to help you there. And then the other screenshot just shows, if I've reviewed the rec, but unfortunately I can't find the answer, they'll help you, they'll direct you towards the service desk or to an email where someone in our team will be able to respond to you there. Next slide. Yeah, so since Erin went live, over 8,000 questions have been asked, with an average of 450 plus queries asked each month. There's usually a peak in activity following a rec release, and when there is negative feedback is provided, that's not often supplemented with any comments. But we have found that users mainly ask queries that fall into the below categories. So trying to find something, what does X mean, or what that means as a party, how can I do this? As a party, when should I, and who should I contact? Next slide, please. So yeah, that was everything we had on Erin. Whether you are a regular user or have never used Erin before, it's great if we can get some feedback, and just asking, what has your experience interacting with Erin been like so far? What are your expectations that an AI-powered tool like Erin should be capable of? And what features would make you, your organization, more likely to interact with Erin? So that's open to you guys.
Thank you, mate, Tree, for that tour through Erin. As I mentioned, we have a Slido link that's open. If you haven't had the chance to go onto it yet and you need the QR code, perhaps you joined late, you can access it through that QR code there, or by going to slido.com and entering the code on the screen now. Have the ability to ask any questions that you have for Maytree, or maybe to leave some feedback about Erin as well. They will pop up on screen as there are, so make sure I can confirm that we haven't received any questions yet. Because there's so few of us as well on the call today, I'm more than happy for you to raise your hand on here as well if you do have feedback, and can't be bothered to to put it into Slido. But Joshua has raised a question on Slido, as you can see there, Matri, around what the underlying sort of model that sits behind ERIN is. It's ChatGPT, isn't it? That sits in the background like a ring fence version of ChatGPT, I think.
I think so, and I think it just takes all the information just from Erin, but I can ask our team about that. I'll find out for you. But
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll get feedback given directly to you on that one, if that's all right, Joshua. Matri has got your email address, so she'll reach out to you on that one and just confirm. Thank you very much. We've just been joined as well by someone, a new attendee. You've joined us just in time for the Q&A section, actually, Veronica. So just to let you know, we'll be sharing the recording of this session, a brief session, online in the next couple of days. So while you missed the presentation, we can make sure that's shared with you. So Josh has also asked whether we real-time ingest new publications to keep the sources up to date. So how frequently those source materials are fed into the program.
Yeah, often when that happens, we take it back to our team and we do that in bulk. But let me just ask Deck, who kind of does that for us. And then he gets those updated. Usually when the releases happen, they all go out during that time. So all of the sources will be up to date and we check all of those before they go live.
Yeah, that's my understanding too. It's part of the release cycle, isn't it? That once the release happens in the rec, then ERIN starts to pull from the digital rec, which is the sort of the online repository that exists on the portal. So it will be pulling live directly from that. Shane, does ERIN only pull feedback from? I lost it. Hold on. I can change that to newest. Hold on a second. Oh, I've made a mistake. There we go. Recent questions. Shane, does ERIN only pull feedback from rec documentation, or does it also gain information from the useful documentation, the rec wiki, other areas of the rec portal?
It's only the specific rec documentations. It won't be pulling it from the wiki or anything like that.
Yeah, that product set that you shared earlier on one of that slides that can be accessed through ERIN doesn't currently pull from rec wiki. Josh asked whether we have an API access to the database for others to be able to use this outside of the ERIN UI. I'm assuming, Matri, this is a question again that you can probably take away in house, have a chat with that. Maybe it might be worth. Josh, it sounds like you've got some ideas about how this solution might be used in a slightly different way. So maybe Matri and can put you in touch with the guys in house within the code manager, the technical guys who run the solution on this.
Yeah. Sorry, Joshua, I can't answer that one, but let me go out and find out for you.
Brilliant, fantastic. Well, yeah, we'll be in touch after the event, Joshua, and we'll make contact with you with the right people. Cracking. Any other questions? Feel free to, as I say, put it onto Slido or to raise your hands here. Otherwise, of course, if you do have questions for us, Joshua, I'm sure we can answer your questions in a separate session if they're more technical. But if they're more about the interface or how you navigate through using ERIN, Matri, I think your contact details, or you can contact us through the service desk through inquiries at repmanager.co.uk, or you may have the technical inquiries at repmanager.co.uk, which will be picked up by Matri and her team directly, who can help you with that as well. Or get in touch through the bulletin. Sign up for the weekly bulletin. The event recording will be shared via the bulletin on Friday and on the rec portal as well. So keep an eye out for the homepage for that. I think we've probably exhausted all the questions that we've got today. Looking at the fact that the Slido has slowed down, I can see no more hands.